From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LA with huge news about your stocks, your bonds, your crypto, and your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. In today's recording, we go over those corporate earnings released minutes ago, and it's an implosion on Wall Street once again. Snap down 30%, Abercrombie and Finch down 30%. The stocks unraveling and falling dramatically as Petco, Zoom, and other ones reported in the last few minutes. What does it mean for your money? It means this U.S. economy is not guiding the way people thought it's guiding. And all the latest details in today's report why the Snap earnings signals the big problem at issue. Snap actually gave you guidance back on April, and now they say the guidance was not enough. The latest details on that front is you need stimulus checks right across the board right away, because the downward spiral of this economy is so abrupt, it's so advanced, it is so pronounced and accelerating so quickly that even a major corporation like Snap could not predict how quickly this economy is changing since April 21st last month. The great news is that a fourth stimulus check is in every U.S. state, and we have that incredible check in this recording. Stay to the very end. I have lots of surprises later in this recording. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. In today's Mornings LA video, we're going to do a little bit differently. In today's video, we're going to go over why the data from the major corporations has been off point in recent days and how quickly the downward spiral of this economy is happening. That is why it's so important to get those big checks. We'll touch into what's happening today on afternoons and evenings. America's Most Watched show in prime time at 5 o'clock. I have a preview as what they're trying to do with the Build Back Better Act that would give you additional checks on top of these fourth stimulus checks in every U.S. state. It's a big morning, and from the shores of Santa Monica, California, good morning. The toast is toasted. The butter is buttering. The coffee is brewing. The bacon, supply chain disruption. It's missing. Well, it was missing before the supply chain disruption. But we'll figure out how to get through all this together. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, I'll be jumping the live chat with you as well. It's Mornings LA, and it starts right now. Morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And it is May 24th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Good day. And we've had a lot of major shockers come in the last few minutes. But the shockers for you is that there's a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. In this recording, I'm going to show you how to get these fourth stimulus checks in every U.S. state and why you need to get it right now. Because the stimulus stampede is less than 90 days away. A lot of people will be coming on this channel looking for checks in 90 days because this economy is imploding very quickly. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Get that incredible membership under the video where it says join. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. If you're on the live chat, where I'm going to jump in and chat with you in just a second, and you have an emoji behind your name, you are a member. Then get that newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and get those big checks. Stay with me later in this video. I'm going to go over how to get those incredible checks one at a time. Today on Mornings LA, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to go over why the economic data is moving so quickly and why corporations have it so wrong. But more importantly, why they are the eyes and ears for us for where this economy is going. Normally, when we look at the movement of this economy, we look at economic metrics. We look at labor numbers, the new unemployment claims every Thursday morning. We look at the PPI, the CPI to look to inflation. But because things are moving so quickly, abruptly to the downside, it's the corporate earnings, especially from the retailers themselves, that gives us guidance on how quickly the downward spiral of this U.S. economy is happening. Last weekend, I gave you a preview of the major corporations reporting corporate earnings this week, and I said I especially wanted to watch today and Thursday. Thursday, of course, is Costco and Macy's and other ones as well. What happened? Here you go. This is why it's not so much the stock, it's not so much that they didn't do well, it's that they couldn't predict what's going on with this economy. Best Buy is actually relatively up 5.12% of the pre-market sales as they had a mixed quarter. AutoZone is one of the real breakouts. It actually beat a lot. It was expected to come in $26 a share, came in 29.03. But Abercrombie and Fitch came in with an unexpected quarterly loss. And before the markets open, it was down 17%. You know Abercrombie Fitch, the clothing retailer. It is now 30% down shortly after 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bloodbath happening right now with Abercrombie Fitch. Imagine 30% down for just a few hours in one particular stock. Now, imagine one stock brings the whole rest of the sector down. Yeah, before I get to that stock, let's go over what we heard 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on air, I ran a quote where one individual said, the tech bleeding of this economy is over, meaning the tech shares falling is over. I called it ridiculous at the time. Today, we know it absolutely is ridiculous. Why? Because the tech bleeding is actually runneth the cup over right now. Snap, the social media company, reported corporate earnings and was down 28.8% in the pre-market. Right now, it is down 40% in one day. Yes, the Evan Spiegel-led company from here in Southern California is down 28%, down 40% right now because of inflation, economic environment, more. Now, I'm going to give you an analysis in a second why Snap actually gave you guidance back in April saying this economy is not doing well, we're hurting. And that guidance was not robust enough. More about that second. But here's the implosion that Snap is causing in the markets. Pinterest is down 28% right now. Facebook is down 10% right this morning. Roku is down 18% right now. Twitter's down 4%. The bloodbath is absolutely happening. And again, this brings us back to the economic data at issue. You know, when we talk about the Build Back Better Act, which is back negotiating right now between Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin, to get it done potentially by Memorial Day weekend and to give you more checks. They're featured all on Evenings LA and, of course, that 3 o'clock afternoon show today. That Build Back Better Act is something that moves at its own pace, and that's great the negotiations are underway, but something that is moving at an exponential free fall path right now is something we never saw before, and that is the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy is falling like gangbusters, and it's falling by the hour, by the week. And we first got the guidance on this from Amazon 3 weeks ago, then Walmart and Target last week. Now, remember what Target did to us. Target gave us no guidance that it had major supply chain disruption and it shocked us, and they plummeted 40% in one day. Well, that was the first part of the equation. Companies that aren't giving us guidance about how bad the supply chain disruption is for the U.S. economy. Here comes Snap today. Snap is the reverse. Snap gave us guidance on April 21st. Since we issued guidance on April 21st, the macroeconomic environment has deteriorated further and faster than anticipated, says Evan Spiegel in a new statement, SEC filing obtained today. He, of course, is the co-founder and CEO of Snap. He basically says we gave you guidance on April 21st of this economy and that it has deteriorated further and faster than anticipated. Wow. This is why you got to get every fourth stimulus check that is available in every U.S. state, and I'm going to go over those incredible checks with you later in this recording. It is a fast and furious downward spiral of this U.S. economy, and along the way downward, a lot of people are going to be telling you the wrong things. And the wrong things will leave you on the wrong side of the equation. Let's go back over to the right side of the equation that came from Walmart last week. Walmart said the supply chain disruption is not how economists are telling you. It's not that we can't get the products, it's that the products come late. Walmart gave the example that they had ordered stuff for winter and they came by the time the weather had warmed up. No one wants the products. The products aren't selling. They're discounted. They're sitting on the shelves. That's causing the big box retailers say, we have too many store employees. We're going to have to let some of you go. Yes, this is supply chain disruption like we've never seen before. And this is being amplified with The statements, half stories, half truths, or in some cases completely incorrect statements coming from corporate America. This morning, Marriott's CEO appeared on broadcast media and spoke about the hotels and their capacities right now. Hotels are at full capacity. They're completely sold out night after night. And that is good as Americans are traveling in record numbers, paying, you ready for this, 200% more for hotels, 200% more for travel. But here's what they're not telling you, corporate America, that as soon as consumer sentiments turn downward, as soon as savings are dwindled, they're not going to travel. And the cancellation on travel bookings is now short. Now you can cancel really quickly, and those numbers will change dramatically. Here's what we learned from Friday. Consumer savings of the U.S. Consumer on average has dropped 15% in just 1 year, from an average of 77,000 to 66,000. What is some incorrect statements out there in the last 7 days? Americans have a lot of pent-up stimulus in their savings account, which they haven't used, so they're going out and using it. That's buffoonery. That's just absolutely ridiculous. The average consumer is not a viewer of this channel. If they were, they would have saved up $45,000 from third stimulus. But the average viewer from third stimulus is $1,200. They used the $1,200 in 10 seconds. They didn't save it up over the next year. That's ridiculous. Why would channels like this exist if people need more stimulus? That's just silly. What about first stimulus? Americans do not have saved up the first stimulus money. They spent it. They spent it to save their businesses. So that notion that the spending habits right now is caused by savings really through the roof is actually the reverse. The savings accounts are going down, 15% down year to date. What about consumer confidence? Well, here we go. Consumer confidence is changing dramatically. In February, I was the only U.S. broadcast to report that we're going into recession for 2 years starting in January 2023. Well, guess what? Average 81% of Americans polled by a new financial news channel say we're going into recession later this year. They believe that the implosion is already happening right in front of us. Now, here is why it's important to get stimulus right now, those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. And those 4 stimulus checks have really refocused the viewership of this channel in a way I'm so delighted. You have really listened to my hard words. You have listened to my tough love. And long gone, missing, disappeared, sent by the wayside in complete applause, is the statements we used to see back in January of this year, where people said, I don't want that check, I want this check. I don't want that stimulus, I want this stimulus. I said, stop that, because this stimulus is available right now. You need to grab it. This is not a picker's environment for stimulus. That has finally gone away, and I'm really ecstatic that you have listened and learned and you have gotten your applications in for these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Not sitting back and saying, I want this check, I want that check instead. Because the implosion of this economy is going down very, very quickly and dramatically. Let me give you another example. The housing data that came in last week, and yes, we have 2 housing reports. We have one, I think, today and one tomorrow. The housing data that came in last week was so hideously delayed that it could cause a lot of confusion. The data was released last week for the month of April. Is it April data? Really not. It's really January data. When you go to buy a home, you have a 60 or 90-day escrow. So the data is backed up 3 months. So in February, we had 3.5% mortgage rates. Now we have 5.5% mortgage rates. You don't see the burden of that on the buyer until that data comes in, potentially by August. Yes, that's why the data is delayed. Finally, when we look at stocks and bonds, you may not own stocks or bonds. You may not be involved in the stock market or the bond market, but you're impacted by it dramatically, not only because of consumer confidence, but also because the analysis of where this economy is going is based upon asset value. If you have something that is of asset value, has it gone down in valuation? Let's use Snap. Let's say you own Snap shares. This morning, they're worth 40% less than they were worth yesterday. That's shocking. Abercrombie & Fitch shares, 30% less. What does that mean for you? That means for you, if you own it, you may not want to sell it, and suddenly you have a less valued asset. And if you want to raise cash to go buy something, you can't, because you're not going to sell the devalued asset. We had the shocking quote over the weekend, which I'm going to go back to right now. It was huge. that gave us guidance on how far and how low we're going. We're in a bear market, but are we in a recession? We're not in a recession yet. A bear market, how low is it going to bring us down? A bear market will bring us down 21% without recession. Where are we right now? We're lower than 21%. Recession. If we're in a recession and a bear market, how low we're going to go? Here you go. The quote comes in from Julie Emanuel, head of equity derivative quantitative strategy at Evercore. We go down 48%. Yeah, we're down 21% if you're with the exception of Snap and Abercrombie Finch, which are down 40 and 30% right today. But with us down 21%, we have a lot ways to go down. That's 48%. And that is why the downward spiral of this U.S. economy has just started. What's going to happen? In 90 days, you're going to see what I call a stimulus stampede. Millions of Americans who saw how good this economy was for them maybe in February or January this year is suddenly going to see it change very quickly. Who is this going to be for? Let's say you work in retail. You're going to get laid off. The store manager is going to say, I have too many of you working on the floor. We're not selling the merchandise. You got to go. Retail sales are way down. They're not going to keep you on staff. They're going to let you go. And then what's going to happen? The consumer or the viewer is going to come back to this channel and repeat back the instruments they've fondly had me get them in 2020. And my response will be, those instruments don't exist anymore. That stimulus is no longer law. Do you have any, LA, I got laid off. Do you have any FPC for me for $600 a week? No, I don't. It's no longer law. PUA, do you have PUA? I'm an independent contractor. That's still law, right? Can I get that? No, it's not law. They got rid of it. UI, well, yeah, UI is available, but it's not as many weeks as before. How about my business? I'm a small business operator, and I'm really struggling to get people in the stores. They're not buying it. My supply chain disruption, the inflationary cost is just hurting me. You have some EI deal grants or EI deal loans? No, I don't. No, I don't. What about PPPs? No, I don't have that either. What do you have? Well, I have a forced stimulus check at every U.S. state. What do you have? Anything else? That's what I got. Okay, I'll take it. Well, you better take it really quickly because it's running out of money. Okay, so the notion of that stimulus stampede is going to be a rude awakening 90 days out because I believe the hurt will start to be felt in around September. I believe the hurt of this recession is not going to be blowing on air. I call it the storm out to sea with the wind coming on air. It's not going to be felt until about September. What you're feeling right now is the inflationary pressures. And those inflationary pressures are the reason why you're watching this channel. But the great news is that I got checks for you right today. You're not going to wait for those checks because I'm warning you about that stimulus stampede 90 days out from here. And that stimulus stampede will be people trying to find checks as the economy is going down. Let's look at the other examples of data where the story is a half story. And in that ways, it's an incorrect story. About a month ago, we had a major real estate broker, analyst, appear on broadcast media who said, when asked, how is the real estate doing in America now that the mortgage rates are going out of control from 3 to 5.5%? The answer was, we're doing great in real estate. Real estate in New York, the average condo is selling at $3 million, all cash, and we can't even get them on the market. They sell in 10 seconds. We're doing really well. Here is what that real estate broker is not telling you. It's an incomplete story. The all cash, when people go buy homes in all cash, does not mean they had the cash sitting in the bank for the last 7 months. It means they came up with the cash by selling another asset. They sold their Facebook stocks, or they sold their crypto, or they sold their Snap. Yeah, you see where I'm going. When their assets are down 40% in just 2 weeks since that person's quote, they don't have those assets to come up with. Either one, they don't have the assets valued at $3 million because it's down 40% in one day, or if it was enough money still at $3 million, they're not going to sell it because it's down so much. If you have Facebook stocks and they're down 30%, are you going to sell it? No, of course not. If you have Decentraland and it's down, are you going to sell it? No. If you have Cardano, which is a crypto coin, which is down to 50 cents from $3 last year, are you going to sell it? Absolutely not. What about Snap? It's down 40%. You going to sell it today? Of course not. Suddenly, you don't have the cash to buy those items. Suddenly, those items don't sell. Suddenly, real estate implodes. Suddenly, things start to unravel. Yet, this is why a complete story needs to be told here. And that is why the Build Back Better Act is back on, baby. The negotiations are back on between Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer. I'll feature more of those negotiations in the afternoon show at 3 o'clock. And, of course, in prime time on evenings, LALATE. The SS300 is dramatically needed. That is a swap of your COLA to inflation. That inflationary benchmark we're going to learn more about tonight on Evenings LA. As Jay Powell is speaking again today, his nonsense is among the nonsense that I'm trying to discount for you on this channel. I just went over the nonsense of the real estate market. The nonsense of Jay Powell is getting inflation down. He ain't. Down to 2%, not going to happen. My worry is that inflation is going to track higher than where it is right now. Higher? Yeah. A lot of the big box retailers signal that they have not passed the cost of supply chain disruption onto you. If they do, you could see your price of milk going even higher, your price of bread going even higher. You can't afford $5 for a gallon of milk. What if it's $7.50? Yeah, this is where the situation is getting very detangled. And you know what's happening this weekend? It's Memorial Day weekend. I will be with you recording all weekend long. And one thing that broadcast media you know is going to say, the price of gasoline. Are you traveling this Memorial Day weekend? What's the price of gasoline? What they're not going to be telling you is that the $5.45 nationwide AAA average of gasoline could dramatically go up an additional $1 to $6.45 domestically. If the situation from China continues to get worse, I'll have more about that later in this video and jump in the live chat with you. But after the commercial break, we are getting checks. A forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. And this comes from my love for you. This comes from my caring for you. When the pandemic hit and millions of Americans needed cash, they were about to lose their home, lose their business, lose their job, or they needed cash really quickly in March 2020. I got it for them and saved their neck. And you did so well. You went out and got that money when I showed you, here it is. Go get it, go get it, go get it. Well, in March of 2022, just a few weeks ago, 2 years later, you and I watched as the Build Back Better Act was not getting done then. And I said, these people need checks. They need checks really badly. I care, and my job is to find you money, to give you guidance of this economy and give you guidance of where we're going. And I found you checks. Needle and high stack? Yeah, it is. It came from executive orders of Joe Biden. I found those forced stimulus checks in every state. And they are check A, B, C, and a surprise later in this video. How do you get these big checks? They're coming up after the commercial break. These checks are for you. If you make $75,000 or less, married couple, $150,000 or less. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, children without children, rent, own, single, older, young, old, all across the board. How do you get these incredible checks? Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that newsletter. And step 4, stay with me after the commercial break because we'll be going over all these incredible checks. As the toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing. Plus, I'll be jumping in the live chat with you. It's a big morning, and we'll have all those incredible details on how to get those checks after this commercial break. See you back in 60 seconds as Mornings LA continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now for May 24th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. How are you? Good morning. And in the second half, we'll be jumping into the live chat with you as well. A four stimulus check is landing in every U.S. state. I'm going to go over those incredible checks starting right now. Step 1, subscribe to the channel. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that newsletter. And step 4, stay with me because I'm going to show you how to get those incredible checks starting right now. These checks come from my efforts starting in March of this year, 2022, finding those checks for you. Needle in a haystack? Absolutely. Difficult to find? They are, but they're all combined and now delivered to you. A four stimulus check in every U.S. state, and they're huge checks. During the commercial break, one viewer in the live chat named James said there's no checks in Virginia. You got to stop that, folks. You really got to stop it. It is not a single day, not a single hour that people just take their entire state and throw it out to the sea and say, there's nothing in my state. There's a four stimulus check in Virginia. There's a check A, a B, and a C in the state of Virginia. There's a check in every state. But if you're one of those people that say, there's nothing there. Back in February or March or January, I at that time thought that the reason why people would sometimes say that is because they really wanted another check. I don't want these checks, I want another check. Well, can't do that anymore because these are the checks du jour. These are the checks available. Those other checks aren't a law yet, and there's a stimulus stampede on the horizon. Let's go over the four stimulus checks that are in every U.S. state, including Virginia, with the very first of those checks, and I don't play games here. These checks are monster checks, and they're not like checks you've seen before. In 2020, the checks that I got for viewers of this channel were huge. I got them EIDL grants of $10,000, EIDL loans of $150,000, PUA and FPUC of $20,000, PPP, $100,000, then LWA, $5,000, $6,000. When 2021 came around, some people elsewhere, not on this channel, focused on the automaticness of getting a measly $1,200 check. Come on. $1,200 doesn't cut it for anyone. That's a ridiculous check. It really is. And as soon as third stimulus became law, I told viewers of this channel how I can get them on average $15,000. They got $45,000. These checks, which are four stimulus checks in every U.S. state, are not measly, winky, tinky, little $1,200 checks. They are tens of thousands of dollars of checks. I don't play around. And let's go to that very first check. You're going to go get that very first check, that very first four stimulus check in every U.S. state is $6,500 to $12,000. It is what I affectionately call check A on this channel. The lettering system is only something for this channel. It's a four stimulus check, single individual, $75,000 or less. You qualify. Go get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Go get it. If you're on benefits, SSI, veterans benefits, or more, go get it. It's the homeowners weatherizing grant check. And how do you get it? Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. The join button under the video. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP member, you choose. Step 3, get a newsletter Monday through Friday. Go into the membership newsletter and go down to check A. There it is. There's a link to go in and apply. Yes, it's an online application. Yes, I searched high and low to find these checks. They're by executive order from Joseph Biden. They're not anywhere else except on this channel. All combined and concise for you in a simple membership newsletter, the only kind of its kind in the United States. In that check A, in that membership newsletter, you pounce and you apply, and you are done with check A, but you're not done yet. You're going to go apply for check B. Check B is a $15,000 to $80,000 for stimulus check. Hold up, look at that number. Yeah, you see that right. $80,000. I don't play games here. I'm not here for a $600 check, folks. I'm here for $80,000 checks for you. I know that $600 ain't going to sustain you for a few days or a few weeks. There's a series of reports out today where analysts say that Americans have pent up savings from that from the second stimulus check. Really, no one spent up savings of $1,200 from a check a year ago from $1,200. It's just ridiculous. Now, $80,000 is a whole different ball of wax. These big checks of check B are the result of my searching for these checks for you, because I know you need big checks that can sustain you for months at a time. And how do you get this incredible check B? And what is that incredible check B? That check B is $15,000 to $80,000, but it's averaging about $66,000 to $80,000. It's a four stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 less. Married couple, $150,000 less. It is called the Homeowner's Grant Check. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, go into the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts, and go down to check B and apply. Yes, another online application. So simple. Just follow through the steps and you are done with check B, but you're not done overall, because then you're going to go get some check C's. Check C's are incredible, and they are for my renters. Yes, renters, you, and also homeowners. It's the residue of third stimulus, and it is averaging a $2,000 MSC direct deposited, baby, on a 12-month average basis. But many viewers have got it over $45,000. How do you get that check C? It is so simple. Step 1, go into the membership newsletter, go down to check C, and there it shows you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. Yes, for check C, you're not applying online. You're making phone calls. And who's made phone calls? The viewers of this channel. The viewers of this channel have seen check C since December 2020, when Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin were not getting the second stimulus done. And I found what I called at the time purple money. Rent, utilities, mortgages, this is more. I showed viewers how to get in December 2020. Then when third stimulus became law, which is what we're talking about with check C, there was a lot of money, and I thought it was about $15,000. Viewers, I said, taught them how to go get the money, as they had done it under purple the year before. But to our surprise, there was a lot more money. And how much? Let's look at the incredible success stories. Yes, here's the rent numbers, $20,000 to $30,000. Here is the utilities. Mark's brother-in-law gets $15,000. Here's the SNAP. Wow, Mark's brother-in-law got $25,000 over 10 years, $250,000. Here's Mark at $32,000, Nisi at $23,000. Nisi's on all the evening shows in the live chat, and she's been adding $8,000 every few weeks just this year alone. She's adding to $50,000. Here's Mark at $32,000. Where's Mark today? At $166,000, because he keeps on going back and getting money. He was at $32,000, then he went to $50,000, then he went to $100,000, then he got check B at $66,000. Here's Lorraine. She was at $105,000, and now she's at $120,000. That is why you go get these big checks. Step 1, become a member. Step 2, go into the membership newsletter and go get these 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Let's take it back a notch and go over this to recap. The landscape is that millions of Americans feel the need for more stimulus, and that's why you're here, as inflationary pressures continue to grow at 8% inflation. But imagine if the inflationary pressures grow to 12%, then you're really going to feel it. But in 90 days from now, I fully expect a stimulus stampede as millions of Americans start to feel that recessionary pressures coming in for next year. That's when more Americans will say, what do you got for me? Do you got a check, LA? And these will be the checks. They will be there, but they will have diminished in value in amounts, and ultimately they'll run out. Good news for you that you're watching this channel on May 24th, because you're going to go get these monies right today. Step 1, go to the front of this channel and hit that subscribe button. Step 2, become a member. Join under the video where it says join here, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Step 3, there's a little bell on the front of this channel. Hit that bell and make sure it's set to all notifications. And then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. Go into the membership newsletter and then apply. At 7 p.m. West Coast time, which is 10 o'clock East Coast time, you get that alert. New LALATE post. You look at it and there it says membership newsletter. Then lower in the alert, it says click here to see the post. That means click here to go see the incredible newsletter. You click the link and you go right in there. If you are a paid member and you're having problems finding that newsletter, then send me a private message on Facebook at LALATE News, and I'll give you a link to a wonderful video that people love that shows you how to get the newsletter, how to open it, and how to use it. And with that, let's jump into the live chat and see some of your interaction this big, bold, beautiful morning, where the weather is picking up relatively well here in Los Angeles as we go into Memorial Day weekend. It's not hot yet, but it's expected to get hot. Let me see any of the questions or comments I see in the live chat that need to get addressed across the board. Maria has been asking questions back and forth with James. So, and they're both hawks. So let's take this back a notch. And I think they're referring to Check C. Great exchange between Maria and James in the live chat. They're basically talking about the city and the county. Remember, in the case of Check C, you are making about 18 phone calls. 18 phone calls. You're contacting 18 different places, all featured in the membership newsletter. When you do, you don't just contact 2 and then get a no and then stop. I've made that recording a lot on this channel. You don't call the city and then just sort of stop because you get a no. No. You contact all the places in the government that are featured in the newsletter, and then all the nonprofits. One of the 2 people, either Maria or James, were talking about that. They said, maybe I'll start reaching out to the nonprofits. Do that from day one. You contact the nonprofits from day one. You contact everyone at the same time. Now, I understand it takes an effort to make so many phone calls, but go down your list and do not leave any of the stones unturned. That is why Nisi keeps on going back and getting more sums of money, because she keeps on reaching out to more places and getting those incredible sums of money across the board. It's a full room across the in here right now. Susan Rivas just became a member. Welcome, Susan, to the family. And there is a hello from Georgia. Says she likes my hair. I hate it, but I appreciate that, Georgia. And there you are. You know, it's a tumultuous day as these numbers are just a bloodbath when it comes to corporate earnings. Imagine when we have a quote from Julian Emanuel of Evercore Research saying, we will see a decline with a recession of the stock market, 48%. We're only down 21%. The quote is hysterical in a way now, because you look at Snap, which is down 40% today. 40% Snap is down right today. Abercrombie & Fitch down 30% right today. Last week, what was Target down? 30 or 40%? No, it was 50% one day. Well, how do you modify these numbers based upon what's going on? Well, it basically says you got 2 years of recession. These stocks have not started the recessionary downward spiral. It's going to be very bad. It's going to be really, really quite bad. And that implosion will be hitting all fronts across the board. Student loan debt forgiveness. The president has signaled that he will do more student loan debt. But we have that big quote that will be featured tonight on Evenings LA, as an insider believes the president's going to forgive more debt this week. Yes, that more debt this week would be $10,000 more. The president has forgiven student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation, people who went to work in the nonprofit or public sector, people whose debts were procured by fraud, and then he put debts that were in default into good standing. The likely number will be 10,000, most insiders say, and the president needs to get this done and move on. He doesn't like to hear about student loan debt forgiveness for some reason. It's some type of issue that he just emotionally does not like to hear about, and it makes him very angry, as you saw his emotional reaction to news in a press conference 2 weeks ago. I'm not doing 50,000. Okay, Joe, we'll just choose the number. Let's move on. Also, the other thing he needs to do and move on is that SS300, swapping that COLA to inflation. Inflation right now is 8%. Where is it going? Well, here comes some more buffoonery. And you know who I'm about to say. Yeah. Temple of Doom 2022. Where are you? He's speaking later today. He is Jay Powell, the guy that simply gets everything wrong and continues to say it wrong until people start to believe him. Are they believing him? Absolutely not. Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, got it so wrong last year when he said inflation was going to come down to 2 to 3% in December of last year, when yours truly in spring of last year said it was going to be 8% inflation and not coming down. It's still 8%, even higher. Jay Powell will be speaking later today, and he's going to say the same thing he always says. We're going to bring inflation down to 2% later this year. He's not. But what we do know from Jay Powell since last Friday is he's going to hit inflation really hard with that hammer at half basis point increases in June, July, and August FOMC meetings. And suddenly some people are going to say, Jay, everything you're doing is not working. So what is the narrative then? The narrative by September will be a lot of hurt for viewers, or for people who are viewers that are on vacation coming back from wherever they are. The hurt will be hurt, and the way you prevent some of the hurt is, number one, getting off of anything that is a flexible interest rate instrument. So if you have car payments that is flexible, get off of it. If you have credit card debt, pay it off, get off of it, because the interest rates are going to go through the roof. Any of those items where the interest rates will just surge out of control, please get off of it right away, because that interest rate spike is not going to stop. Jay Powell's going to hit it hard and continue to hit it hard, as he now has said. What about the price of gasoline? Okay, so here we go. You're going to drive away from Memorial Day weekend. Are you going to take me with you? You better, at least on the cell phone. I'll be recording all Memorial Day weekend. Well, the price of gasoline domestically, it's going to go up another $1 to $2 after supply chain disruptor China comes off of lockdown. They're in lockdown because of Omicron. When they come off of out of lockdown in early June, not Memorial Day weekend, but early June, they're going to use gasoline. The gasoline shortage is going to increase, and the price of gasoline is going to go up even higher, even substantially higher than where we are. How much higher? I'll feature it tonight on Evenings LALATE in prime time, and of course, the brand new afternoon show at 3 o'clock today. Let me jump back into the live chat and see some of your questions or comments you have about the gasoline. Oh, there's some comments right in there about the gasoline. There's William Bennett says, hello, everybody. Chef Roberto says, hello. Mr. LA, do you think the lowering the age of Medicare will survive? Diane Davis, great question. Diane, no. In fact, I actually feature that at 3 o'clock today on afternoons and also on evenings at 5. No, I don't think anything from Medicare is going to survive. Everything that involves spending more money on Medicare is not going to survive, in my opinion. Again, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion, but it's going off of Joe Manchin's comments from 2021. He said in 2021, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that. So that's what I'm basing my opinion on. And Bernie Sanders is not part of the negotiations. Now, I have no idea how this is going to come to a head. When Bernie Sanders was so angry, I guess is the correct verb, about certain provisions getting into the Build Back Better in 2021, and now he's not part of the negotiations, and now the guy you know is going to remove the provisions is like lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. I think that provision is absolutely coming out. Thank you for that great question from Diane. And the reaction of Bernie Sanders to the situation, I don't know what it's going to look like, but we will watch it across the board. Again, that is my projection. What is with these $2,000 checks, says Bobby Wynn. Watch the video and replay it. The MSC averaging $2,000 for check C across the board, and that is for people who pounce. What's important to understand is that as we go into the thick of the fall, the hurt, that wind of that storm out to sea, that recessionary storm out to sea, the wind is going to be felt on land. And everything we did back in 2020, we're going to be doing it once again. Well, we're doing it right today, but we're going to be doing it majorly. We're getting big checks by pouncing and finding these checks. In 2020, you never heard about EIDL grant or EIDL loan or PPP or PUA or FPUC or LWA in the landscape of broadcast reporting. You saw them here. I taught people how to go get them. I showed them how to go get them because I cared for you. I cared that you lost your job. You're about to lose your business. You're about to lose your car. And I cared for you to show you how to get this money. And you cared for yourself as well. And you made the effort and you got it. All those people from 2021 that lived in that comfort zone of things just sort of automatically doing nothing, standing by the mailbox, donut, donut, donut. That type of reality check may have hit them by now. Maybe it hasn't. But when the hurt hits really bad in September, they're going to feel that, or August, they're going to feel that hurt, and they're going to realize this is 2022. Everything is different, and I need to move very quickly. The good news is you're here. Stay with me throughout the day because the recordings do not overlap anymore. The content doesn't overlap because there's so much to go over. That's why in this recording from Mornings LALATE, I wanted to go over why the economic analysis from corporate America and why the prognosis, the guidance from corporate America has been incorrect or non-existent. And yet they are the source we need to turn to give us guidance on where we're going. When we look at labor numbers, when we look at PPI or CPI or inflationary numbers, it doesn't really help us the magnitude it used to help. It's the corporate earnings that give us the guidance when they come out. And we get blindsided. As we got blindsided by Snap down to 40% today, as we got blindsided by Target down 50% last week. I'll feature more about this at 3 o'clock on Afternoons LALATE and more on Evenings LALATE at 5 o'clock in prime time. But first, remember to go get those checks because the hurt is going to be felt substantially by August. And that stimulus stampede will be coming, and you don't want them to jump in front of you to get those incredible checks. Pounce as a Purple Hawk and get those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state starting right now. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and get those incredible checks right now. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, good morning, and stay with me. This video will automatically take you to noontime, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, starting in about 1 hour from now. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE for more.